What's up, everybody? It is the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a video. I've had a long absence, and for that I apologize. For those of you in the States, I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I just got back into town on Sunday, and I wanted to show you a new acquisition, as well as go through a few of the other figures that go along with it. And we are looking at my Logray collection today. Logray. I pronounce it Logray, but I've heard Logray, so I don't know. But I did pick up this mint on card Logray, and it is awfully pretty, and I wanted to kind of take that opportunity to take a closer look at my two Lily Lettys, the Mexican bootleg from the 90s, and then my Ewok glider with a Logray. So here we are. This arrived when I got back into town, but it is absolutely beautiful. This is the Return of the Jedi Logray. This is on a 65 back B card, as you can see here, and it has the Tsukuda Japanese sticker on the back, which I'll show you in a second, but it's absolutely mint. Came back with an 85 near mint plus card, bubble, blister, and figure all got 85, so it's a straight 85s with a clear bubble. And how beautiful is that? Just a really, really nice example. And I could not be happier with it. But you know, just a really, really nice one. It has the bubble insert, or the tray insert for the figure and the staff. So that is what you see right here. That's just part of the insert. You can see it on his elbow there. But absolutely mint. It was in an auction, and man, Sunday nights are really dangerous for me. I just saw it. It wasn't even on my watch list, and I threw in a last-second bid and got it for extremely cheap, given the condition. But Logray is definitely my favorite of the Murder Bears. I really like him a lot. I love that artwork on the front. But more excitingly, on the back, this has the Tsukuda Japanese release sticker on the back. All the figures were made in Hong Kong, as you can see there, but you can see down here where it's released by Tsukuda and it has all the cool Japanese writing. But just a beautiful figure. To my knowledge, all of the Tsukuda stickers are 65 B backs. I don't think they released any on the 77 backs. And most of the figures in this line, or with this card back variation, were 65 back releases. There are a few exceptions. And I did I try to provide information where possible. And I did some research this morning, and I found a list. I had to do a lot of searching, though. I found a list of every figure that is on the Tsukuda card back, and there's 23 total. There are several holdovers from the ESB line, and then so the three holdovers from the ESB line are Yoda, the R2-D2 with the sensor scope, and Vader. So those are the three holdovers from the Empire Strikes Back line of figures. And then for Return of the Jedi, there were 20. So you had C-3PO with the removable limbs. Well, I guess that's a holdover too, now that I think about it. Yeah, so C-3PO is also the holdover. So there's four holdovers: Yoda, R2-D2, sensor scope, Vader, and C-3PO with the removable limbs. So my mistake there. So there are 19 from the Return of the Jedi. Luke Jedi, Admiral Akbar, Leia Bausch, Gammy, Gamorrean Guard, Emperor's Royal Guard, Chief Chirpa, Logray, both Klaatu's, so the Klaatu and the Klaatu Skiff Guard outfit, Rebel Commando, Weequay, Squidhead, General Madine, Bib Fortuna, Reese, Biker Scout, 9-Yub, Nikto, and 8D8. So those are all the figures that came on this card back. And it took a while to find that information. I mean, nobody had a definitive list, but I'm almost positive that this is correct because I've seen every one of them except for the Vader. I've never seen a Vader Tsukuda. I'm sure it's out there if I Google it. But now, it's not that difficult of a line to collect. Since it's a Return of the Jedi, most of them are Return of the Jedi figures. You can get those for relatively inexpensive. The two exceptions are Yoda and Luke in his Jedi Knight outfit. Those two are pretty expensive. For recent data points of what I've seen sell, the Yoda in good condition, you're probably looking at least $400 to $450 US. And then the Luke Jedi is the most expensive. It's crazy how expensive those go for. Even in average condition, they can go for upwards of $900 to $1,000 bucks. So it's a very, very rare card back, apparently, for that Luke Jedi. So those two are going to be the most expensive, and followed by probably, I would think, Vader and the R2-D2. But the rest of them are not very expensive. So if it was a line that you're interested in, that's a fairly easy one to collect. But this is just a really, really nice example. Lograys, as many of you probably know, I mean, most of these bubbles on Lograys tend to yellow very quickly for whatever reason. It's just something about this figure that causes the blister and the bubble to yellow significantly on most of the card backs. But it might be because it was a Japanese release. They use a different kind of plastic. Because most of the Japanese Tsukuda card backs don't have much yellowing, if any. But even those I've seen have yellowed quite a bit. But anyway, nevertheless, it's a nice little addition. And then while we're doing it, I wanted to show you guys the differences on these two Lograys. I just got back this one. This is the Dark Stripes Logray, Lily Letty. You can see how dark those stripes are. I was really ticked off when I saw the grade. It came back with a 75 plus, but I think it's because of the helmet. So this is a warning for those of you who do collect or do send stuff in for grading, is to really look at it closely, because I thought I was going to get at least an 85 on this. But if you look at this helmet versus my light stripes, you can see how much more damage is on that. So the paint on that one is pretty rough. But the rest of the figure is absolutely mint. But you can see the differences. These are both Lily Letty, made in Mexico, Lograys, but you can see how different the stripes are. So this is the dark stripes versus the light stripes. These are the only two variations for that figure, Lily Letty version that I know of. But anyway, this one was an 85 plus. This is the light stripes, light stripes Lily, and then this is the dark stripes. So those two are very nice, nice to have in my collection. While we're at it, I thought I'd show you guys without the poly bag. This is a Mexican bootleg Logray. What a wacky looking figure. This is a 1990s version with the dark brown, very yellow plastic that they used. And then he's got a tinfoil hat, so he must be a conspiracy theorist Ewok. He's got his tinfoil hat on. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. But anyway, there is a true 1980s version of this figure that is more in keeping with the licensed figure. It's a very, very almost exactly the same, a rougher mold. The paint applications are usually very poor on it, but it comes with, they did make bootleg helmet, and the helmet might have been molded into the figure now that I think about it. But I know that the pouch and the staff were also available, and they were removable, but the helmet may or may not have been molded onto the figure itself. I can't remember, but the true 1980s version, this is the 1990s, not very difficult to find or acquire, and not very expensive. But the 1980s version of the Mexican bootleg is very expensive. Even one in pretty rough condition can set you back several $100 if it's complete with accessories. But this is the 1990s. That's the only one I have. I have seen the 1980s for sale, but for whatever reason, the timing's just been poor for me to pick it up. And then finally, you guys have seen this one. This is a UKG graded loose Ewok glider. For whatever reason, they decided to encapsulate it with Logray. I'm not really sure why, since I don't believe he was in the Ewok glider in the movie. I'm not sure. This is the Ewok glider, and bear with me, Ewok glider LFL Hong Kong 85%, and then this is the Hong Kong Logray, and he came back with an 85. So a nice example. So I've got two Hong Kongs, and I believe the stripes on these are pretty similar. You can see there the stripe color is very similar. But most of the variations with the Logray licensed figure, give me a second here. Most of the variations relate to the stripes colors. The Hong Kong variation comes with both light and dark stripes. There is a Macau-made figure that has light and dark stripes, beige stripes, dark stripes, whatever you want to call it. And then there's another variation that has flat stripes, and then a no COO version that probably came, I guess, on the Palatoy or the Palatoy card or the Tri-Logo Palatoy card. So But those are your main variations. They really relate to the stripe color. I mean, AFA's labeled them a number of different ways. They've labeled them as light stripes, flat stripes, beige stripes, you know, dark stripes. I mean, there's just all kinds of different wording that they use on the labels, just depending on the country of origin and which one you have there. But in terms of my collection, I've got 2 Hong Kongs, one on the Tsukuda card back. I've got the 1990s Mexican bootleg, and then the 2 Lily Lettys. So a small collection, but it looks great when you put them all together like this. I kind of like having all the different variations together to show off. But you know, that checklist, you know, for the Tsukuda card backs is should be definitive. So there's 23 total, as I mentioned, with Yoda and Luke being your most expensive. I should have another carded figure arriving in the next day or so. And then I also did get a book in on the Spanish-made figures that I want to take a closer look at with you this week. So maybe I'll do another video later today after I get some work done. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.